is Jabbar Juluke, running back coach at the University of Florida, and you're watching the FanView podcast.
Y'all already know what it is. Another edition, FanView podcast. I'm that boy Fred.
G Sports back at it.
Coach Hurricane here, back at it again.
And again.
I'm in the right camera again.
Listen, y'all can subscribe FanView Podcast if y'all on YouTube, FanView Podcast if you're on Facebook, FanView Podcast if y'all on IG, it's still FanView NOLA if you're on Twitter. Listen, get FanView Podcast if y'all on TikTok. Get subscribed, like, comment, share with a friend. We can't stop. We won't stop. These episodes are live. They're lit. We appreciate all y'all contributions for liking our pages and liking our reels and liking our TikToks, man. We listen, we ain't going nowhere, man.
We elevating, man.
We elevating G Sports.
Consistently. Got my dog in the building, man. Personal friend of mine. University of Florida running back coach Jabbar Juluke in the building, man. Down here for not Jazz Fest, for Essence Festival.
Essence.
We were supposed to get him on here for Jazz Fest. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
The schedules ain't aligned, man. But Coach Jab, man, appreciate you coming on here, man. I know you got a lot going on when you're in town, man. A lot of people to see. I know you did a deal with the NFL at the Essence Festival on Saturday, man. But we always like to start our podcast all talking about our journey, man. Jab, I met you, I think it might have been 2013, 2012, something like that. 11 and 12. And, ever since then, man, you always been a good friend of mine, man. Always been a mentor in a sense for different things I have going on in my life. But, take us back, man. Jabbar Juluke from the St. Bernard Projects. Enrolling at St. Aug. Then going to Southern, being an All-American, and then going into this coaching journey, man, and now how you elevated, since you started at Louisiana Tech.
First, thank y'all for having me, man. I'm honored to be here. I've been watching. I'm a fan as well, watching what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it.
I think what you guys are doing is very remarkable and highlighting Louisiana sports and different young people that come through here. We need more of that. We need more positive things taking place. But, meeting G, being friends with the guys on the coaching staff when I was at Carr, and they say he was a friend of theirs, so he's a friend of ours, so we made him part of the family. But, like G just said, man, I grew up in the St. Bernard Project, right? 3621 Gibson, Apartment C. You know what I'm saying? And I still know my phone number.
Come on, man.
504-283-3226.
Dang, give me that thing out, huh?
I mean, if you remember their phone numbers.
I remember my phone number. Because I got in trouble, so I had to call my mama.
Yeah.
Make sure I knew that number, man. But, I grew up, man, last of 7 kids, single mom, man. So football is the thing that saved my life. So if I didn't play football, growing up in the project, man, we had a lot of choices to make, and some of them wasn't as good as it could be. There's just some negative things going on in the project that made us who we are. I wouldn't change it for the world, you know what I'm saying, because it made me a better person. It gave me an opportunity to choose right and wrong, right? So I'm very appreciative of my friends that I grew up with. They gave me their love, you know what I'm saying, it's genuine love when I see them, and making sure that we have an opportunity to impact people as we go through. But football, if I wasn't playing football or basketball, baseball, any sport, cool cane. That's our best sport when we played in the project. But if I didn't have sports, my options were rough, right?
Right.
Either we on drugs, selling drugs, robbing, stealing, or killing.
Right.
Or dead, if I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So my mom made sure that I stayed involved, right? She played sports. All my brothers and sisters played sports, so sports is who I am.
Right.
I've never had a job in 51 years, so I don't even know what it is to go to work on a daily basis because I didn't have to.
It's a blessing.
So, that's my deal, man. And Philip Willie Hall Playground, a Nord product. Played for Nord at the Willie Hall Panthers, man. I was a quarterback, G. So
what?
I thought I was gonna be my coach called me Nicky Hall. Nicky Hall was a quarterback at Tulane during the time.
Okay.
Right? He won number 11. And I thought I was going to be the next Nicky Hall to play quarterback. And then go to Phillips Junior High School, man. I played there. That's where Coach Johnson and we've been playing against each other for a long times. And for Nord, he was at Milne. We went back and forth with that, man. But Phillips, multiple sport athlete. Then I get to St. Aug. Right?
How you ended up going to St. Aug? How that happen?
My oldest brother went to St. Aug.
Okay.
Yeah, my oldest brother went to St.
Brotherhood.
Yeah. So my oldest brother played on St. Aug's undefeated state championship team, 1975. His name Byron Honore. He's probably, most guys, I try to be probably the best offensive lineman to ever play at St. Aug. That's how good he was, right? So he just passed away recently too.
Yep.
But he's the reason why I went. I can vaguely remember being in the Superdome, watching the state championship game when I was a little baby. I can hear the people. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was there.
Right.
So that led an impact on me. Then he goes to college and played football, and it was like maybe 7 dudes from New Orleans that played at St. Aug went to Southern Illinois. So my mom and I, we used to do the y'all might be old enough to understand this. The Kellogg's box tops.
Yeah.
Cut them off.
Cut them off.
And we used to take the train ride.
Come on.
Yeah, we get the free ride. We
Free
had
ride.
money, man.
Right. Yeah.
Food stamps and commodities.
Damn.
So we used to catch the
The
train.
book of food stamps.
That's right. Yeah. So we used to catch the train, go to the games. All those dudes went to St. Aug. So that's all I really knew. You know what I'm saying? And
So you was embedded in it. Yeah.
And at the time, St. Aug was beating everybody. You know what I'm saying? They were beating the Catholic League. They were beating the public schools. So, it's something that you wanted to get done. And I actually went to Tyler Junior College first before I went to Southern and Baton Rouge.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
In Texas. Okay.
Yeah, I played JUCO. I originally signed with Tulane coming out of high school to play football. And back then it was Prop 48.
Yep.
You get the Prop 48.
Yeah.
Go to school, but you can't play in the game.
Can't play in the game.
And I really didn't understand that. I'm like, man, I need to play in the games. I play ball, you know.
Right.
So went to Tyler Junior College, man, and had a great time there. Had made some really good friends while I was there as well. Then I went to Southern University in Baton Rouge. If I had to do it all over again, I'd go to Southern as a freshman. Not for football, though.
Right.
Just being on the yard.
Yeah. But you was All-American at Southern.
Yeah, I was okay.
Y'all 101.
Yeah, we won a national championship. We lost one game to Nichols that year, but we was undefeated.
Was Jack on that team?
Yeah. We played against each other all throughout, from park ball all the way to
That's
college.
crazy, huh?
Yeah, all the way through, man. That's my dude.
So he got the bragging rights on you right now.
Yeah. Oh, no, I beat him at St. Aug when he was coaching over there.
Okay. Right.
Beating everybody.
Right. How was that when y'all coached against each other this past year, the Florida State and Florida rivalry?
Man, it's the rivalry is the rivalry. Dave and I, we don't have a rivalry. Man.
Right.
Dave Johnson is a friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
at the end of the day,
But you competitive though, Jab.
oh yeah, we want to compete. I mean, that's my man.
That's your man.
Yeah,
That's your man.
Before the game, we talk, take pictures. But when the horn blows, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Right.
It's time to go.
And I know that he wants to win as well.
Yeah.
And, we both coach the same position.
Right.
So we both want our positions.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and we both did well in that game. But Dave Johnson is just a different dude. You know what I'm saying? So I try to emulate as much things that he does, not only in football, in life. He's a very respectful dude, man, and he and I go way back. So it's a rivalry, but it's not a bitter rivalry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
But talk about the time at Ednacar. I mean, you spent a lot of years there, man. Laid a lot of foundational work at
Make sure you speak on
Ednacar.
the mic, Jab.
Talk about that time at Ednacar and building that foundational work. For what we see now at Ednacar. Talk about that time that you coached there.
It was different, right? Never had any high school no head coaching experience. I was always an assistant coach. And it was trial and error.
Right.
Trial and error, man. We used to lift weights out the shower at Carr. So we came a long way, man. So one of the first things that I really wanted to do is because, again, I'm from the Southern Ward. I ain't from the West Bank, you know what I'm saying? So I got to make sure that they accepted me not being one of their own, okay? And the first thing that I wanted to do was hire as many guys from Carr that I could, right? And those guys were, who can better tell a story of someone, of a place, other than the people that have been through the process, right?
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that those guys can be able to tell a story to me so that I can be able to implement my values that I've learned from St. Augustine to Carr.
Correct.
Okay, and it kind of was similar. They kind of lined up together. Only difference between Carr and St. Aug, in my opinion, is that Carr got girls, St. Aug don't.
Right.
That's a difference, though.
The difference. No, I don't know about that. The same marriage and then they get in.
Right.
But they right there in the halls with you, though.
But who you hung out with in school?
guys,
True story.
fellas,
True story.
Fellas eat lunch with the boys.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like the boys was kicking it all day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we had mad fun over there. We could talk about that as well. But the car, man, the experiences over there was unmatched.
right.
You know, I think that the ups and downs that we went through, right, and be able to put things in perspective of uh, what they're doing right now,
Right.
right? Like, and this is facts is the best way I can. Bryce Brown is a way better coach than I ever was.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because he had an opportunity to see the mistakes and be able to make it better
Yeah.
than what it is. I didn't have that. Okay, I didn't have a manual, so he had a manual,
Gotcha.
right? And I'm extremely proud of what he's doing and how he's going about doing it. And you know, it's like your son.
Right.
Yep.
You know, when your son do well, you got your chest stuck out. You're proud of what he's doing, and I think he's a phenomenal coach. The staff over there, I think don't get enough credit they should get. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever imagined that what they've accomplished since your departure and Bryce takes over? Would you ever imagine, you talk about 4 consecutive state championships for a public school in New Orleans? I mean, a documentary literally about this program being recognized as not just one of the best programs probably in this state, but one of the best programs in the country. Did you ever foresee anything of like that from Edna Carr?
Oh yeah, that was the vision. That was the vision. We didn't want to be a one-hit wonder. Okay, we wanted consistency. We wanted to be a program that people talk about when you talk about West Monroe, Evangel, John Curtis, St. Augustine, right? We wanted Etna Carr to be in those same likes, and we had to make sure that we did that, right? And most people think when you have really good athletes, not a whole lot of coaching going on.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing right now, the coaching is elite.
Yeah.
Elite. And I think that, and I tell people all the time, those guys are way better than I can ever have been at their age. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for what they're doing. And the best part is yet to come. It's coming. It's gonna get better.
Right. No doubt.
Yeah, let me ask you this, man. Everywhere you look at in college football, you see a coach from New Orleans. And you just don't see that per capita all over the landscape of it. What makes the guys from New Orleans just so special at what they doing? Because I can look at Brock Group, look at Joe Group, I can look at Yak Group, any of the Joseph Brothers group. They always the hardest playing group in the building. And it's like we get something out of them that most other coaches can't get. What do you think? What attributes to that?
Yeah, we from the city, man. That's as simple as that. You know, the city, we different. You know, your room is a reflection of who you are.
Yep.
Right? And we try to go hard. Right? We can make mistakes now. And that's gonna happen. But we're gonna make mistakes going 100 miles an hour, man. We're gonna play the football game the right way. And that's with effort, that's with energy, that's with structure, that's with discipline. And we're gonna cheer for the guys next to us, right? We competing, but we're not in competition.
Right.
Right.
It's a difference, right?
Difference.
And at the position that we coach, only one guy goes in at a time. So we got to have multiple guys that can have an opportunity to go out there and play. And we don't want no drop-offs.
Right.
You know, if anything, we want to go higher. He did that. I'm trying to go do better than that. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about the coaches from New Orleans, and I think, everybody got their own little feel how they want to do things from other cities, and everybody think their city's tough and they do different things, man. But when you talking about 110 degrees humidity out here, and we still out there grinding and trying to make things happen for our kids, I think that's a true testament of our background, our upbringing. It started at Nord, really. You know what I'm saying? When you out there competing at a higher level and on park ball, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's something that we want to take pride in. And then we coming from a smaller place. We coming from a place that don't have millions of people living here, or millions of people playing ball. So per capita, we have some of the best athletes in America. You know what I'm saying? So go look at the numbers in the NFL.
Right.
Guys are there.
Right.
So And then we close knit. We pick each other brain. I could call TJ up at Texas. I could call Brock up. Well, Brock don't call me. He call me.
He said that.
Right.
We are constantly on the phone. You talking about Cortez,
Yeah.
Frank Wilson,
Frank
right?
Wilson.
You talking about
Tony Hall.
Tony Hall, right? You got Teddy Veal is at La Tech.
Yeah.
I watched him on the podcast. He did really good, man.
Yeah.
He did very, very insightful information that he was giving out, man. So, Ricky Brumfield, he's from New Orleans.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, we got a good group of young people that work together. We're not afraid to pick each other's brain. We're not afraid to say we don't know something. We don't know it all. Hey, man, what you thought about this? And then we've made other connections as well. But just being from New Orleans, man, you make us different, man. We eat different food, different music, you know what I'm saying? So, talk different. Talk a little backwards sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, man, talk about when you left Carr, man. You won a state championship. Well, before that, they was calling y'all the Buffalo Bills.
You're damn right.
Kept
Couldn't get past nothing.
in Franklinton. You kept getting and just couldn't get it done. You know what I mean? And you finally got that state championship ring, and then you decided to part ways with the Endercar program and take your coaching career to Louisiana Tech. Man, talk about that transition and how difficult was it for you to leave Endercar? Because when y'all won state, I think everybody knew that followed high school sports that Carr was about to be the next big
next up.
high school program in Louisiana. I think people knew that. They saw it coming.
Yeah.
How hard was it for you to leave and go to Louisiana Tech?
Extremely hard. First of all, I never wanted to coach college football. Right? The grind, the hours, away from family. Those things were always like, man, I don't need to be doing that. I wanted to be the next Wayne Reese.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and for people to see the growth of the program and what we were doing was a hell of a compliment, and we appreciated that. And Doug Blackman was the women's basketball coach at Carr, been coaching for 40 years. He said, "Hey, coach, you got to go to college." I was like, "Nah, coach, I'm good. I ain't going to no college, man. I ain't doing that." He said, "Well, you're hot. You got to go. You got to strike while the iron's hot. You can always come back, but you always have regrets about what you would have done if you don't go." So that stuck in my head. And then I go to church. The pastor, "You got to go to college, and then to the NFL and all those." I'm like, I know they're not talking to each other. I don't know. They don't know one another. Like, they know that.
There's a side.
What they speaking into the existence?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So,
Side.
and so just like I'm on this podcast, I would try to do as many interviews as I possibly could for the program, okay? And a guy named Todd Black with ESPN, I don't know if he's still doing radio or not, but Todd had a interview over the phone on the internet, and I just would do it, just try to get as much publicity. And he texted me one day and asked me would I be interested in coaching at Louisiana Tech, and I was like, "Let me get back with you."
Right.
And I asked my wife, and she was like, "Yeah, we going. Like, that's our job." I'm like, "All right, cool." So Coach Holtz, Skip Holtz, called me on Monday, and I thought I was being punked.
Yeah.
Calling me for it, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I never forget it. Taurus Howard and I, we on lunch duty. And answer the phone, coach on the phone. I'm like, "T, it's the coach from..."
Right. Right.
He's like, "Go talk to him," So I'm in the middle of the yard talking to him. And it was so surreal, right? Because when you everybody, I'm faithful, right? I believe in God. And but I'm a sinner as well. So I need to make sure that, hey man, this ain't coincidence.
This ain't coincidence.
All right, so the guy called me up, and I'll never forget the conversation. And it was like, "Hey, I'm calling to hire you. Not an interview. I'm calling to hire you. This is your job."
Right.
He said he was looking. He wanted a minority coach from the state of Louisiana. He said he talked to maybe 15, 20 people, and everybody gave him names, but every one of the person that he's talked to gave him my name. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool for somebody that you don't know that's watching you from a distance. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that you're doing things the right way all the time.
Yep.
Man. If you ever look at something, when I do post something, little hashtag AOAI, lowercase I, all capital letters, and it stands for always on an interview. So when I'm on it, when I shake somebody's hand, it's my responsibility to make them have they're gonna make them have an opinion, but I gotta make them have the best opinion. So
First impression.
right, you think about an interview, you put on your suit and tie. You going there, we can't wear that every day.
Right.
Correct.
But I can meet someone at McDonald's and be respectful to him, and they're gonna be like, I remember that guy, man. I want to be around that guy. So he said, "Well, when can you get here?" I said, "When you need me there." He said, "Tomorrow." I said, "I'll be there at 8:00. And I called my wife. I said, "Hey, book us a hotel in Ruston." Back then, we didn't have a whole lot of money, G, so I had to get the little friends and family.
Yeah.
Discount, you know what I'm saying? So my wife's sister worked there, and I said, "I'll explain it to you on the way up." And and the rest history after that, man. I was actually being interviewed for defensive backs because that's what I played. I was a defensive back all my life, and defensive coordinator David Gibbs, who's at the University of Central Florida right now, wanted to bring his own guys. Right, and he was like, "Okay, well, they found something for me." Kenneth Dixon, Tevin King.
Yep.
Kenneth Dixon. 87 career touchdowns in NCAA history. Needed some mentoring, right? And he was like, "Can you coach running back?" I said, "Hell yeah." After I left his office, I went YouTube some drills and called Frank and other guys up and like, "Hey, what I need to do?" And that was it.
That's a hell of a back to walk in on.
Right. Right. But he needed some guidance.
Yeah.
He needed some guidance.
He needed his ass kicked.
Yeah. Right. But you touched on something. You said when you told your wife that Louisiana Tech wanted to hire you, she told you going.
Oh, yeah.
Taking it, right?
Absolutely.
And, you say you watched the podcast with us and Teddyville talking about his journey, his story, and he touched on the sacrifices and the different things you have to go through when you're in a relationship, when being a college coach, man. Talk about the support from your wife, man, how she's always been your number one fan and always supported every decision that you've made since you've been in college.
You got to know that you're not making the decision just for you, right?
Right.
It's a decision for both
family.
of us,
Right.
So actually in the book she has a chapter that she's going to be talking about. I just think that those are the unsung heroes that we don't talk about enough, right? The sacrifices that my wife had to make for my career to see me grow and what I wanted to get accomplished and understanding what my goals were.
Right.
And she's a lot more spiritual than I am, and she's always praying and trying to get us in the right thing. And really, she's the one that started the transformation of the program at Carr, right? Because as a young coach, you thinking that it's about you, right? And she was like, until you stop thinking it's about you and start thinking about those kids, you're not gonna prosper. Told me just like that. Straight, no filter.
No filter.
If you don't stop thinking it's about you, and it wasn't no bragging or boasting or anything, but it just was, this is my program.
Yeah.
No, it should be our program. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna get things accomplished. And that's how she started speaking things into existence for me with that, man. And you talking about long hours, long nights, right? You talking about road trips.
Yeah.
On the road recruiting, it gets a little difficult, you know what I'm saying? So having communication on a daily basis is important. It's funny, right? Still in 22 years of marriage, we still trying to communicate. I text her my schedule while I was here for Essence because she didn't come with me. So I'm letting her know exactly what I got going on so that she can actually call and remind me to get my butt up to make sure I'm on time.
Right.
But
Got an alarm clock.
that's right. So the wives are very, very important. I can't say enough things about what she had to endure, right?
Yes.
So through the journey, she gets diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
That's when you was at LSU, right?
Yep, October 2016.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so now we got some more stuff to deal with. She didn't want to tell me because she was like, we got big games coming up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she didn't want to tell me, and then she wound up telling me, and we making sure that we get the best treatments and doctors involved.
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what? We got to move.
Yeah.
To Lubbock.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep. So in the negotiations of the contract, because I don't have an agent, I'm talking to the athletic director. Hey, listen, I'm not coming if we can't provide the best medical for her.
Right.
We hadn't started chemotherapy yet. We did our chemotherapy in Lubbock, Texas, just the two of us, in the support of the family in Lubbock. They were our people.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful to those guys at the University Medical Center. They really took care of us because they knew my schedule. And Cliff Kingsbury, I'll bring Denise to get her treatment at 7 in the morning,
Right.
and we there from 7 to 10. Then I got to take her home, make sure she's
Yep.
good, feed her, and then she's gonna sleep for the next 5-6 hours. And we live maybe 15 minutes from the job, so I get to go to work with no issues at all, man. So it was pretty cool.
Damn.
And, she's one of the strongest people I know. We October we're gonna be 9 years cancer free. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so she.
Listen, man,
Yeah.
that's historic.
That's what's up, man.
It just like we don't really hear about the sacrifices the wives have to make
That's right.
for coaches, and it's a very pressuring in long hours position.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think no one knows going in what their sacrifices need to be and how long they need to be. But they're not talked about enough.
Yeah.
They got a lot of women on it that are wives to coaches. And I know they'll put a lot of hours. Y'all put these women through a lot of pain and heartache.
Yeah.
They got a lot going
Yeah.
on with these children, and God knows forbids what. I mean, you
Real
all
talk.
over the places, but for them to bear those things and still have you on the right course, and how be able to just be able to tell you and receive criticism. A lot of times it's hard for us as men, for our wives to tell us something. You be like, who you talking to?
Yeah.
And for us to actually receive it in those moments, in those times, and actually
Everything
Put it to
about yeah.
I tell her she the real coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
she
saying?
the real MVP.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You if you're going to be in the coaching, and I advise young people, you're going to have a significant other. If you're not married yet, you better keep them involved. I'm talking about they need to know
What's
how
going
it
on?
works with it, because if not, you're going to have issues, right? That you're not going to be able to foresee because you didn't say, well, I didn't know you was going to be gone this long.
Right.
Here's my schedule. This is what we do.
Soon as you find out your schedule, you got to let them know.
Yeah, so we could plan vacation. They want to be on point with everything. You know what I'm saying? So, my wife is she's just different. You know what I'm saying? She I got to remind her that I'm in charge sometimes. She thinks she's in charge. You know what I'm saying? So
She used to having the key to the reins.
she drive it, but we got a good relationship, man. I'm fortunate.
I like to touch on that because people don't understand. They see you coaching at University of Florida. They see you on ESPN winning big games, playing in these bowl games, but they don't understand what's going on behind the scenes for these big time coaches. You know what I mean? And so like I be wanting to shed light on it because, like I said, we had Teddy Ville on, he was explaining the process of being a college coach and what he had to go through. And a lot of people was hitting me. I'm like, man, I didn't know they worked them kind of hours. I didn't know when you first get into college, you're not making a whole lot of money.
Right.
If you're coming in as a GA or quality control or something like that. I'm like, yeah, bro, y'all just think they just hop into college and it just
They see
they own. Like, nah, it don't work like that. It's a process.
They see the emblem, and what confidence. Oh, you getting paid?
Yeah, it's a process, bro. It's a process, bro. So like like we always say all the time, man, we like to entertain on this podcast, but we like to inform because
Absolutely.
Yeah, because people they're gonna watch and they take something from it. And so that's why I wanted to touch on,
Extremely important. G.
yeah, how you've been able to
Y'all should have a wife's podcast.
That's a good point. That's a good idea.
Good idea.
Give me my percentage.
For real. That's a good idea.
Wife here,
Yeah.
Speaking, how do you handle? And this is like this falls into what G was just talking about, how we like to give like advice to somebody that's just getting in there and all that stuff. How do you handle the coaches, the school not doing that good right now? It's a possibility that you might lose the job, but then also you kind of like trying to not. What's the best way to describe it? Not let it affect your room.
Right.
Not let affect. I hear the AD he looking at the head coach like Steph Curry looking at old boy that just got traded.
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole, like he just looking at it like you got one more time. You got,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you sitting there, you like, man, hit a game plan, hit a boom, boom, boom. But like, man, I know I can get another job like that, but I really like it here. I like it, but like it could be gone like that. Like, how do you navigate all that plus give your room your all without
Letting the outside noise affect
Yeah.
you.
Man, when you walk in the building, you're in the back cave, man. You know what I'm saying? That the noise don't affect you. You have to control the controllable, right? The things that you can control, your attitude, your effort, your work ethics, right? Your preparation. Those are the things that we have to control. That's all I'm focused on, right? I'm not concerned about what somebody's saying at what we're not doing. You're not at practice every day, and that's why they're fans, right? And fans are going to have their opinion about it. They're going to support you, but that comes to the territory now. You got to be, to the victors come the spoils, right? So you got to be prepared for what it comes, and you know what you're signing up for, man. So I just want to prepare my guys to be at their best. That's all I can do. I can't control what somebody's opinion may be. That's not what. If I did that, I can never get anything focused. I'm tunnel vision. I'm like a horse at the racetrack. That's why they have their blinders on, because they get spooked. They look to the left or the right. I just got to stay in my lane and go. I can't worry about what the next guy is doing or what he's saying or whatnot. And we got to be prepared, right? My job is to teach and demand, and the player's job is to prepare and perform. So I got to make sure that they have everything they need to be the most successful. So I can't control that.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm about miss. So never dies. But this is a different kind of miss. I look at the landscape of college football, even pro football. And I notice that minority coaches typically get hired for head coaching positions, but typically it's on the defensive side of the ball. It's not on the offensive side of the ball. Guys like Byron Leftwich, Eric Bieniemy, who are excellent minds on the offensive side of the football. And you look at the college landscape and you've seen that, listen, we look at the college landscape is demanding, even myself, for more minority coaches. But it's typically not coming from the offensive side of the ball. You see a minority coach like Mel Tucker, who's a defensive guy. I mean, back in the day, guys like Randy Shannon, who ain't got the Florida job and the Miami job, a defensive coach, Ty Willingham. These were not offensive minds. The only one I can really think of was Charlie Strong, who got the job at Texas.
No, Charlie Strong was the defensive coordinator.
He's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So these are defensive players. I mean, you start looking at Mike Tomlin in the NFL.
Defensive
guys.
Raheem Morris.
Defensive
Vance
guys.
Joseph.
Why there's a stigma where it seems like only minority coaches could get to that plateau from the defensive side of the ball, but they're not getting the recognition on the offensive side of the ball?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I have no aspirations of wanting to be a head football coach. First of all, so
None
none, zero
at all.
No, I want to coach the running backs. Yeah.
You don't want to coach the dark side either?
No, I don't know. I'm running backs coach.
I got you.
Eric Bieniemy is actually my cousin and my frat brother.
Wow.
And we talk on a regular basis. His opportunities are coming, but we have a more difficult path at times. Those guys who have those aspirations in this industry, they have to dot their I's and cross their T's, where our counterparts don't. Okay, and we got to make sure that we have everything that we're supposed to have to be the most successful. Most guys are minority guys are coaching either running backs, receivers, and that's it.
Right.
Right, and the game is coordinated from the quarterback position and the offensive line.
Correct.
Okay, so you got to have guys in those positions to be able to become the coordinators who have that aspiration, who have those desires. So we need more African-American quarterback coaches and offensive line coaches. You might have, I think, 10 offensive line coaches in Power 5 football that are black. So
That's not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot at all.
Not a lot.
So we're the minority in the sport. But I think that the only guy I can remember that was an offensive mind was Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah.
Kevin Sumlin. Yeah. Kevin Sumlin.
Kevin
Yep. Yep.
K. Sumlin was really good. Loxley at
at Maryland right now. Yep.
Maryland.
Loxley. Yep.
He's the Bruz also.
Yep.
He's doing really well. And we just got to continue to push through, man. 2023. We're making strides, but they're slow progress.
They're slow
Baby steps.
And I'm just picking it like a mental note on the pitch. I'm like, man, I'm not the fan that said, man, minority coaches don't get hired, because I witnessed it. I've seen it. But I started noticing what side of the ball it was coming from.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realize, man, where are the guys that's going to come from the offensive side of the ball? When are our minorities going to start getting credit for some of the things that we're doing on the offensive side of the ball? Because our counterparts are getting a lot of the credit for what's going on in the landscape of football, whether it's on the high school level, the college level, and the pro level. But, man, I'm watching the minorities put the work in, and they're paying the dues.
Mhm.
But to us, what it looks like it pays off is when they get the head coaching position.
Mhm.
That's when it looks like it pays dividends. Like, man, he finally got rewarded for the effort.
Yeah.
And we're just not seeing it from that side of the ball.
Because there's no reason in the world Eric Bieniemy shouldn't have been a head coach by now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No reason in the world.
I think, but also, we take so much pride in what we do that, like Jab just said, like most of them don't have the expectation of being a head coach. They want to drive where they at.
I'm with my feet on me.
You know what I'm saying? They want to drive where they at. Because like
It happens.
one of the things that, like, and you've done some special things in your career, but one of the things that like I will always be forever grateful for that you did was when Tony Hall was putting together a panel of black coaches.
Mm-hmm. Him and Avi.
And you and no, it was you, Yak, Quan Drake,
Taz was there.
Tez,
TJ, Terry Joseph.
yeah, Joseph. You know what I'm saying? Like Mickey was there, and like y'all just gave the coolest, like unfiltered, but like, hey, this is the hard fact. This is the stuff that we facing.
Right.
This is stuff that y'all facing right now, but don't think it gets easier when you get up here because you start making a little money too. It's that much harder. And then I watch like people that was still coaching. I watched Valdez take the leap. I watched Corey Peters take the leap. I watched it was somebody else.
Chris Peters.
Chris Peters, yeah.
Yeah.
It's somebody else in that was in that room with us that I just watched just take the leap. And I think, because I talked to Valdez to this day, and I think one of the, like, it was pretty much what y'all was saying, that like, just, hey, when you make it, but like, this is how you make it, and this is how you get some stability in this game.
Yeah. You gotta, if you want to coach college football, you gotta be willing to go anywhere to do it. Okay. And don't let money be your driven force.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chase your passion and not chase the bag. All right. It'll follow. Don't get me wrong. Money is part of it. But, you know, if my wife didn't like expensive things, I could do this for free. Right. I want to help people. I want to be able to inspire the youth to be the most successful they can be. And that's the gratification that I get. And I just try to be a good example that I can be. I'm not perfect, but I want to be the best example I can be to help as many young people as I can, right? That they know they can get it done. But you have to be prepared for it, right? Don't look at another man's success and say, oh, I can do what he did.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know his struggles. You don't know his journey. You don't know how he got to where he's at right now.
Right.
And those things are what we have to be mindful of, right? And then we have to be able to have some swallow our pride and go ask questions. Hey, man, what did you do?
Right.
Right? You know, I used to go to National Coaching Convention when I was real young. I never went to the FCA. I never went. And then as I started getting more mature and I want to get my program better in high school, I would go to those conventions, right? And I have my phone, my iPhone, I have in my notes, I have a hit list. I'm going to find these guys. They're the head coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, wherever they are, and I'm going to introduce myself to them, right? Might not be a long conversation, you know, because their time is valuable. I don't want to take up their time. I just want to introduce myself, right? If you have an open door policy, can I come to your school? Right, and I'll find a way to get there, right? Another guy that's a pioneer in this business, man, that we got to, y'all might get him on this podcast as well, is Burton Burns.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is Burns?
He lives in Tuscaloosa.
You must say
Because he went with the Giants for a little while.
He's out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's a pioneer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, he's one of the pioneers. Another guy named Deanie Solomon. You guys may not know who he is.
I don't know Deanie Solomon.
Yeah, Deanie Solomon is one of the first guys from New Orleans to go coach college football. He was Dennis Green's right-hand man.
Oh.
The Minnesota Vikings. Arizona Cardinals, right? He's the first one. He's a coach at Minnesota.
Okay.
University of Minnesota. So
Okay.
those are the pioneers, man. Those are the guys that I call. You know, when you say, you know, Brock calls me or Dave and I call Coach Burns, right? And I run things by him all the time, man. And he's been very instrumental in my success. Right? He's given me things that you can't go get at the store. You can't buy this, right? It don't have a price value on it, man. So just a countless of hours of conversation, just talking about life, you know, because at the end of the day, we coaching football, but they all not going to NFL. So you better be ready to mold them to be men and be productive citizens, right? To be better husbands, to be better fathers, right? To be better people. And that's what you really want when you're doing this profession. The reward of money, right? Everybody want to have success. But how do you equate success? Is it because of your monetary gain or is your legacy gain, right? And I'm more concerned about my legacy and the impact, right? The legacy of not showing somebody, but leaving it within them, right? That it can carry forward of how to be successful, how to be a man, how to carry yourself, how to walk around in different ways and make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Right.
At the same time to be relevant, right? So, you know, we got to continue to prepare for it, right? We talked about whomever will have those aspirations of wanting to be, you got to speak it into, you got to go do it. You got to go get in the room with the guys that makes the decisions, right? And you got to be able to get those people to understand who you are and what your vision and goals are for you to be successful. That's what I would look at if guys trying to do those different things.
How hard is it to get in the room with those guys?
It ain't hard. Just knock on the door. You can't be afraid to go get told
Be
no.
confident when you go.
Say, yeah, you can't be afraid to know.
Yeah.
And you gotta be prepared.
Yeah, you better be.
You knock on the door.
Yeah, don't get ready. Be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can see a nice looking young lady and you ain't ready to go talk to her.
Too late.
You got to be prepared, man. I'm like you know, you need to be preparing for that opportunity now. You don't wait till that opportunity is supposed to present itself. You know, I was preparing for going to college when I didn't even know I was preparing for it because I was trying to run my program like it was a college program. You know, so every time a college coach would come to the program, I'm going to have a roster. I'm going to have a transcript. I'm going to have ACT scores. I'm going to make their job as easy as I possibly can because I know they got to go to multiple schools. Right? We started doing a 7 a.m. workout. Coach, you can get here at 7 a.m. We got 25 coaches there. You know, cause if I can start my day at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna hit at least 10 schools that day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Depends on not if it's not spread out. You know, it depends on the travel time in between. So, and it's gonna be quality time. So you just gotta be prepared, man. You gotta prepare yourself to be successful, right? You know, if you've got piss poor preparation, it's gonna promote piss poor performance.
Yep.
All right, and piss poor performance promotes pain. So you gotta make sure that you're prepared to do what you gotta do, and don't just talk about it. Be about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say, yeah, man, I want to coach college football. What are you doing?
Right.
Do you go to the coaching convention?
Fact.
Yeah, man, we have a good time. No.
No.
You ain't learning that.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying? With who spoke today?
Who spoke today?
What did he talk about? Did you learn something?
Did you rub elbows?
Did you introduce yourself? You just wanted to happen for osmosis, right? You just think, all right, boom, I coach good ball. Let me coach your team.
Right.
No.
I don't know you. You know, Terry Joseph said this at that same convention, right? Because we had a meeting after the convention was over to try to make it better. And we all want to talk about networking and every kind of opportunities, right? So we haven't continued, and we need to get back to it. But we would say, hey, man, let's do some mock interviews. All right? You want me to hire you, but I don't know if you can coach. I haven't seen you coach. Gee, my dude, I ain't seen him coach.
Right.
So if I do become a head football coach, I can't hire my boy. I need to see you in the trenches. I need to see you get your elbows dirty. I get to see how you prepare for a meeting, how you run your meeting, how you conduct your meetings. Are you able to translate what the coaches want them to have for the kids to get on the field? Right? This ain't the buddy system now.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that.
Coach, I want to bring up a key element that I've been noticing over the last probably 4 to 5 years. I know you you big on mentoring kids and mentoring the youth, and so am I. You know, when you think about people like Alvin Kamara, John Morant, Henry Ruggs, you know, so many of these professionals that are making bad decisions and got the wrong type of people around them. You know, in your running back room when you was at LSU, Texas Tech, UL, now at Florida, what are some of the things that you're implementing outside of coaching the game to help these kids make better decisions, man, when they do become professionals and start making that kind of money?
I don't know. You know, I'm like the average person that can see what's taking place in those guys' lives that you mentioned, right? So I don't know the ins and outs. But what I do is I want to be around people that will tell me when I'm wrong, right? Um, my boys, they know what I do. They know where I coach at, and at a certain time, it's time to go.
Yep.
You got to go, right? Or like I'm here in New Orleans. I don't even have a rental car. I'm Ubering. Just in case I do have some vibrations. I'm not driving. I'm not going to risk myself.
Right.
I'm 51 years old too, right? So
Right.
I can
Right.
see it a little different.
Right.
Because when I was 21, 22, 23, now you couldn't tell me nothing.
Right.
Exactly.
Especially if you got a lot of money.
Yeah, I was broke. I was broken. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have to have someone in your circle that's going to tell you the truth,
Yeah.
right? But you also got to have a circle, and everybody got to bring some value to the circle.
Yes.
It can't be a lopsided table,
Mm-hmm.
all the weight down here, and I'm down here on this end, and everybody else, I'm holding the weight up. At some point, we got to make sure they got a balance.
Facts.
You know, you got to have a balance, man, and you got to have real conversations with one another.
Right.
You know, I got some friends, man, that's dead. I got some friends that's doing life in the penitentiary that never come back home because they wouldn't want to listen to the things that we were talking about.
Right.
You know, and then sometimes it's just stubborn, you know. But again, you got to have proper guidance. You got to have right people around you. And I'm big on bringing the value up.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to have 5 millionaires than just 1 millionaire,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a time when if I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I'm in a good room,
Right.
I want to be around like-minded people.
People.
Yeah, with like
People.
attainments that we trying to get better at, right? And so I use this scenario, man, with D Trail over at Made in the Hood.
Made in the Hood.
One of my former players. And we sat down and like you have to, you know, he's about to be one of the next big things in design, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your group, so us four, we here, right? G over transportation. Right? A shallow partner would say, man, I ain't driving you around, man.
Right. Right.
No, that ain't what I just said. I said you over transportation. So it's your job to create a LLC for transportation services. So when we get ready to go somewhere, your job to have the transportation now. You ain't got to drive. So now when you see us out and the crew together, like, man, y'all fleet of cars look nice.
Right.
Who did that? Hey, you call G. Man, he get you set up at any state in America with the transportation service. But now G's a CEO. He's vested in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And now the group have started to get balance. You in charge of security.
Right.
I ain't say you stand next to me posted up with the guns. You start your security company. And now, man, I don't never see y'all getting in no issues. Man, boy, that look nice, bro. Whoop. Set it up. Now you doing security for 10 athletes. And you ain't there, right? You're a CEO. You the boss. Janitorial. Like, man, I ain't cleaning up behind y'all, man. What's wrong with you? No, man. You keep the building clean. So when somebody come in the building, man, it smell good in here. Who running y'all services? Now we got 4 CEOs sitting at the table, right? And everybody businessmen. Well, now we all can have value.
And nobody feeling slighted.
You know, nobody getting we all equal. You know, it's a gold ball equilibrium here, right? Everybody on the same level playing field. You know, so now everybody's providing for their families as well. So we got to make sure that we are surrounding ourselves with people with like minds and like attainments and want to have goals. and aspirations, you do not want to be the most intelligent person in the room.
Real talk.
Because you're not. You have to be a seeker of knowledge, right? And I pray for those young men, man, because everybody hoods are different. Everybody's coming from different dynamics, different economical backgrounds.
Right.
And when you make it to a plateau like that, you need to make sure that you maintain it and that you're able to do it at a high level. And sometimes you might have kicked dudes out the circle.
Yep.
I love you, bro, but
Facts.
You gotta go.
yeah,
Because I'm trying to achieve something that you trying to hinder me from.
Show me the company that you're keeping. I'll show you who you are.
every time I'm
Every
telling
time.
that ain't that.
You know that really didn't start registering to me till I made about 20.
Yeah,
For real?
My grandma used to tell me that all the time. I used to be like,
tell me
whatever,
from your friend.
whatever, man. Like, then once you start going through life and start going through certain experiences,
Yeah.
you like, damn, I understand what my grandma was saying.
No,
though.
what you're talking about.
Man, listen, I tell you this. Y'all may have heard somebody's told you this. Old head said, "Man, I wish I knew what I know now back
Yep.
then."
Yep.
And as a youngster, we would say, "Man, I don't want to hear that, man. I don't know what you're talking about."
Right.
I
Right.
don't
He
wanna hear
preaching.
that, man. Yeah,
Yeah. Man, go on ahead with that, man.
but it's so
Sermon
true.
of the day.
It's so true, right? Because some mistakes that I've made when I was younger, I wish I couldn't have made those mistakes. But those mistakes made me who I am.
Right.
Because we're gonna make mistakes.
Right.
How do we learn and correct those mistakes? Right? You don't want to keep doing the same things over and over and over and beating your head up. You got to grow. Right? I'm not the same guy I was when I was 23.
Right.
Right.
And I'm at 51. Made mistakes with my kids, with previous relationships, right? I'm still working on who I am in that regards of getting better. 22 years in, I don't know it all with my wife, right? We still learning. Be a seeker of knowledge.
Right.
The more knowledge you can obtain, the better you're going to become, right? But when you think you know it all and nobody can tell you nothing,
Trouble.
see you
Trouble.
later,
Trouble.
And that's when the group, the 4 CEOs, yo, we ain't doing that tonight. No, yo, that ain't happening.
Right.
Or, hey, listen, we going, hey, at such and such time, we out. We out. What you mean? We out. Or we have a party, everybody leave their cell phones at the door.
Mm-hmm.
If you wasn't there, you wasn't there.
Yep.
You missed it.
You missed it. You missed it.
So, you can't, in your hotel.
Do you find yourself in those kind of battles with kids that you've coached out in your room when you start seeing, they could be possibly going on the wrong path? They got the wrong type of people around them. Like, have you been through some battles like that with some kids?
Oh, yeah. It never stops. But it don't just be in my room now.
Right.
I try to mentor them all. So I have one rule in my room, man. Stay off the list. That's it. I'm not giving you a whole sheet of all the rules. Stay off the list. Because I'm not a hypocrite. College is the best times of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Preach.
Yep. I had a great time in college, right? And I'm not going to tell you not to have fun and do what you're supposed to do. Now, you get on the list, you got to do it my way.
It's a price to pay.
You know what I'm saying?
Price to pay.
Coach Napier always talk about it's a free world. You have freedom of choice. But you don't have freedom of the consequences that come behind your choices that you make.
Right.
Right? So I tell my boys, if I call you, answer the phone. Right? If I'm calling you, I'm either giving you information, collecting information, or just saying, hey, man, how you doing?
Right.
That's it. I ain't blowing your phone up. We ain't going to get no beer. We ain't going to play the play. I'm 51. I got some friends right now I'm trying to kick out the circle. You feel me?
Mhm.
So, so you got to make sure you have that. But if you do, that's what you tell, and there's going to be difficult times.
Right.
So what do we do on the bad days?
Right.
Right? The 40-12 rule, right? It's in the book too, G. You got 52 weeks in a year. 12 of those weeks, you playing football. What you going to do for the other 40?
Mm-hmm.
If people miss this part of college recruiting, can you see yourself living in this city if you didn't play football?
Mm-hmm.
Because the social aspect is part of it. You got to have that inside of it and make sure that you're doing it. So you just got to make sure that you're putting them in the right position. Have I had guys go left, G? Yes, I have. Right? But I got to reel them back in. Right? I got to put them in a position to be successful. And, you bring them to the house. Break bread with them. Eat with them, right? Teach them how to handle their money they're getting, right? Make sure they have a financial advisor, making sure they're making investments.
They got NIL money now. They got all kind of distractions.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Like all those same scenarios that G is asking, you find it different now with the NIL than say back when you first got in when you had is that a harder conversation for Montreal than it was for Kenneth because now you got NIL money coming in.
No, they're both for the same conversations, but when you have more money involved, the lust of money is the root of all evil now. Right?
Yes.
So when you got money, man, you do things differently now, right? We were younger, y'all nobody eat at McDonald's anymore, but
right.
When I used to eat at McDonald's, I'd go in there and I had no money. I'm on $1 menu.
Yes.
Like, hey, let me get
2 double cheeseburgers.
I'm gonna get a double cheese and I'm gonna get a spicy chicken sandwich
and a value fry.
And a value fry. What you drink? I'm just gonna get some
Water.
water.
Yep.
I'm gonna get the fountain drink.
Yeah.
Right. So now you got a little money in your pocket, and the same group of CEOs that's not CEOs yet. Hey, yo, I want the number 4. Super size with a caramel sundae, and I want you to put the caramel in the middle.
Yeah.
With the nuts on it, then put some more caramel, and then I'm like, hey, what you want, G?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
So when you got money in your pocket, your thought process is different.
Right.
Okay? So we have to have more financial literacy, right? We got to be able to talk about how to handle money when you get it.
Right.
Okay? And that's not easy to do now, especially when you go from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Real quick.
And kids that coming from poverty.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm a firm believer in that coaching is more than football coaching.
Right.
We're coaching in the game of life.
Facts.
Right? And I not only with the book G, I got a foundation. It's called Jabbar Juluke Coach Foundation, right? And coach stands for called out as Christ's helper. So we got to make sure that we are just broadening the horizon and giving them different things with, right? Most guys, they want, you want to see your money in the bank. Now, you got to invest your money, man, because rainy days going to come now. You got to be ready for it and make sure that so that's the type of stuff that I do. I'm bigger than just coach. I'm the mentor. I'm dad, right? I'm old enough to be dad now, right? Before I was a big brother or uncle when I first started out. Now I'm old enough to be their dads. So now, parents, you're not giving us a pair of tennis shoes. You're giving us your son. So we got to make sure that they are well taken care of because bad days are coming. They may not be playing well. It's
inevitable.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to look at when I'm doing it and keeping my room grounded, right? We have keep it real in our room, right? It's like, we going to tell the truth in here. We ain't up in here BSing.
Right. Be transparent.
Yeah, exactly, right? And we want to make sure that these guys know that life is just like football. How do you handle winning 14 games and how you handle losing 14 games? How do you handle having multis of millions of dollars in your pocket or getting your lights cut off? How strong are you going to be? Those things are parallel, right? Because you could be a great football player, and now you don't want nobody to tell you that. Now you're not working as hard as you need to. You got millions of dollars, you ain't working as hard. Now you're at the bottom, and you're like, man, how can I get out this hole? Now you start doing dumb stuff. Start getting delusional and thinking about, I got to do this. I'm doing drugs. I'm selling drugs. I'm trying to get whatever I can get to make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Decisions.
Finding the problem.
That's right.
Ain't gonna work.
So the idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we got to keep them busy. Keep them going, keep them motivated, you know what I'm saying, and try to figure it all out. That's how
I remember when you was at Carr, and somebody, I was at one of y'all practices or something, man, way back at the old Carr when you was still there, and one of the players said, man, why we got to come to practice for so long? And I remember you saying, well, when he walked out, you said this. You was like, well, we make them come to practice so long, G, because we know if they're here, they're not in the streets.
That's right.
And they can't make bad decisions. And that always stuck with me, Ed. I never forgot when you said that. I was like, damn, that make a lot of sense. If they're here all the time,
they don't have time.
You don't have that many
distractions.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and that always sit with me, man, that you put it in that perspective.
Yeah, I got that from Hank Tierney. Hank Tierney, right? So Hank Tierney, give you a quick story. They beat us 55-0. right? My first year there, Bryce was on the team. You can ask Bryce. 55-0. And you know, to get me in trouble with hell, but it's good. So after the game, if you ever been to the old car, we don't have no lights back there.
Right.
It's dark, right? And they got the one little flickering light over the gym that comes off and on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took them jokers into the middle of the field and took my shirt off and said, I'll fight each and every one of y'all before I let y'all destroy yourselves and become quitters, right? Because I don't think we played like a car man was supposed to play during that time. And so now, the next morning after the game, I'm sitting at West Jefferson Stadium at 6 o'clock in the morning, and Coach Hank pulls up and like, hey, what you doing here? We ain't playing JV.
Right.
I'm like, man, I need to know what you did to kick my ass like that.
Right.
Right? And he told me, man, you gotta love them. He said, love them, care for them, and they'll run through a wall for you. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, it's bigger than just football.
Yeah.
He said he had a kid, was supposed to have a game, got in a car accident and died. He said he started bringing them in early. If we play at 7 o'clock on a Saturday, we got to be there at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to feed you breakfast, lunch, and get you ready for the game. And they didn't understand why we were doing it, just to keep them out of trouble. You know, we have certain days to eat during the week, take the coaches out to eat. Dinner. G didn't ate with us and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Buzz Brawler.
Yeah.
Buzz Brawler.
Buzz Brawler right there in City Park. So we just try to make it as big a family atmosphere as you can, and make sure that these dudes know that they loved, right? And but this was some guys forget. The best love is tough love. All right?
I agree with that.
Tough love.
I agree with
right? You may not understand it today, but you'll understand it later. On Father's Day, my birthday, I might get a text from my players before I get it from my own children sometime, because they're appreciative of what we're doing, what we've done for them, and how we're going about getting it done. You know what I'm saying? So, man, just loving these kids, bro, and making sure that they have an outlet.
Yeah.
Can we save them all? No.
Right.
You know, the ones that I lost, man, it hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to learn that we can't save them all.
Yeah.
Right? So we got to figure out the ones that we can save and promote them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, elevate them.
Yeah.
Right? And give them the things that they need to have to be successful. Because everybody's not going to get it. Everybody's not going to get it, man. So, you know, we don't want to lose any of them, but we got to figure out the outlets that they can have to endure any and succeed in any of their endeavors that they want to. And that's how they're going to get better at it.
You touched on your book a couple of times during the podcast. Coach Yak, Coach Dave Johnson, the running back coach at Florida State, dropped his book in May. We on Fries. You have a book coming out at the end of this month. Talk about your book, man. Kind of give us a little insight what the book is all about and where we can find the book.
It's Finding and Growing Your Field. That's the name of the book. And it's my story, some of the stuff that we talked about today on how I got into college coaching and everything. So I always get asked, hey, man, what you do to be a college coach from high school? I never was a GA or anything. So I just told in the book what I've done to prepare with the roster, transcripts, being informed of the 48H and things of that nature, man. So Dave Johnson is we've always talked about being better than what we had for us. And the best coaches that we had were the ones that showed us mad love. So over COVID, we started with Elvion Bruley, writing the book and trying to get put it all on paper, man. And it's pretty cool writing a book. I didn't know how it all went. Because I graduated, thank you, Lord, and not cum laude. So, so you talking about writing a book, I'm like, man, I ain't writing a book. So, you know, and it came out to be pretty
we all graduate, thank you, cum laude.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm C's got degrees for me, though.
Right.
And a couple of D's, you know?
Right.
So,
right.
But it's pretty good, man. I've been having different people look at it and adding stuff. So it's going to be on Amazon July 22nd, pre-orders. The book will be, the hard copy will be ready in January when we go to the National Coaching Convention to have a book signing. All those things are going to be going in place with it. But July 22nd is when we're going to do it along with the foundation, having a release with the Coach Foundation. I have a group of young men that I'm meeting with tonight, 25 9, 10-year-olds, and I'm going to follow them through high school.
Mm.
Okay, and until they get to college, and once a week, one week out of the year, we're gonna have get haircuts, go to dinner, placement tables, etiquette, tying a tie, fishing, financial literacy, mental wellness, health.
I like that.
All those things are going to be important for what we're trying to get accomplished. And this exposes them to some different things so that they can be able to understand it's more than just playing the ball or dribbling the ball or catching the ball or running the ball.
Right.
We want to try to, Dave Johnson, I keep calling Dave, right? Because we always having stuff and communicate with each other. Dave used to always talk about books over ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So you have the books over the ball. If you're smart, you educate yourself, you can continue to grow. So we got to teach them how to fish. It's cliches. Teach them how to fish and they can eat forever. You can feed them some fish and fill their belly up for the short term.
Right.
You got to teach them how to fish, right? So we got to teach them, like, I don't know if you guys are homeowners, right? You got to own a house. So we like, man, I want to buy my first house. We'll buy a threeplex. Live in one, rent the other two out. This ain't your forever home.
Right.
And then when you do move out, you meet that beautiful woman you're talking about. Now you got three streams of income coming in. Then you go buy whatever house y'all want because y'all two incomes come together.
Right.
But they don't teach us that in school.
No.
We want algebra 1.
Right. Right.
The quadratic equation, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Stuff that we ain't gonna use in our everyday life.
So, we just got to make sure that we educating the young people. And that's what I want to do with this group of young people. They play for, actually, it's the Crescent City Chargers all-star football team.
Man, let me know when you do it that 1 week, man. I'm gonna pull up.
It's like the ideal is for it to come for Essence
Mm-hmm.
and start this Monday for that whole week, start next year. So this year we're gonna have a school giveaway, supply giveaway, Thanksgiving giveaway, and a Christmas giveaway. That's what the foundation is raising to do right now for those kids. Like I said, man, I come from single parent home. I want to try to give back as much as I can.
Yes, you can.
My mom has been there. She still probably thinks she can give me a whipping though, right? Yeah, she 81 years old. So so I'm just trying to give back, man, and make sure that the youth have avenues that I didn't have, right? Computer literacy, even if the parents, if they need to get some more education on what they need to be doing, right? Everybody need to have a financial advisor, right?
Right.
That's going to help them. I don't care how much. I should get my financial advisor $10 a month. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm fortunate enough to give him more, but you got to start somewhere. You know? So that's the type of stuff that we're trying to get accomplished, man. Police officers going to come in, firemen, educators, lawyers, doctors, they're going to come in and have a little spiel and making it work like that.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Man, it's been a pleasure having. But before we go, we got to get into the faves.
We gotta get into Jab's favorites, man. That's how we gonna end the podcast, man. Favorite football player of all time.
Walter Payton. Sweetness. Bad man, him and Gail Sears. Best to ever do it.
The best?
Yes, sir.
I can't put him over Barry.
Barry Sanders.
That's my era.
I watched Barry play.
Barry. Barry was something.
Well, Sweetness was not.
He was.
Sweetness
He
was
was.
nice.
But you know,
It's funny how nobody says Emmett.
Man, that's the greatest offensive line ever.
he always had the stigma of having the best offensive line ever.
He was
So
good now.
he definitely was good.
He had the greatest offensive line ever.
Yeah, that's why nobody give him the credit.
Yeah, I think, but maybe now I know it's 2 for sure that's in the Hall of Fame. Nate Newton
3.
and Larry Allen.
Nate Newton, Larry, and I can't remember.
The center.
The center. Yeah, that was I can't
Forgot his
think of
name.
but
Yeah. Favorite NBA player of all time.
Oh, Kobe Bryant.
Got it tatted on his leg. I knew the answer. I just had to ask.
Yeah.
All right.
Black Mamba.
Favorite coach of all time that made the most impact on you on any level.
That's hard right there because I got so many, right? Giving me chills. I can remember my first Nord coach, Coach Melvin Bush, Fat. We called him Coach Fat.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Beast, right? Those are my first coaches. Roy Smith was my basketball, baseball, football coach at Phillips. Eli Welch, Bernard Griffith, Tony Villegas, Tyrone Payne, Clifford Barthay, Pete Richardson, right? At Southern University. I have so many different coaches, man. I played ball. All of them. Everybody that ever coached me till this day, Coach Como, Used to be at Landry Walker. Right? He coached me. Coach Brian Gibson. They coached me at AAU basketball. Rock was one of my coaches.
Yep, I know Rock told me that.
Yeah, they coached me as well. So I have a big appreciation for anyone that ever coached me. I don't care what level it is, and I'm calling them coach till this day. I'm 51 years old. I'm just coach. I ain't calling them by their first name.
Right.
That's my coach.
Right.
Because the coach makes impacts on you more than your math teacher, English teacher, or whatever. You remember those people, but that's my coaches right there.
Gotcha. Favorite movie of all time?
Ooh. I got a sports.
Any type of movie.
Any type.
Sports is Hoosiers.
You like Hoosiers?
Yeah.
I like Hoosiers too. I didn't think you was gonna say
They
Hoosiers.
say Hoosiers.
Yeah, I like Hoosiers. I just like the team aspect of it, right?
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And have that. I used to think I was gonna be Michael Jordan when I was playing.
Rock
ball.
said you was pretty good though.
I was alright.
Rock said you was pretty good
I
though.
played defense. Played defense.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Denzel? Yeah.
Man, you know what? I'm going to watch that. I haven't seen that movie in about 12 years. Yeah. Damn, I forgot about Philadelphia.
Anything with Denzel,
Not
Man on
Denzel,
Fire.
But you got to think about the same movie. Tom Hanks was in that movie.
That's right, Tom Hanks.
had an extraordinary role
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's tough.
Gotta watch that.
They don't make movies like that no more.
That's what I'm saying. I forgot about that movie.
That's tough.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
And Man on Fire.
Oh, yeah. Man on Fire. Yeah, that's a good
What's the
one.
one with Dakota Fanning or is the other one?
I know they had the little girl in there.
It had to be
Creasy.
Dakota.
He a bad man.
A bad man.
Anything with Denzel, I'm a Denzel fan.
So you
American
Denzel your guy.
Yeah. In the
Bone
movie,
Collect.
in the movie Philadelphia, he's like, explain this to me like I'm 6. Let me understand what you're saying. Explain this to me like I'm 6.
Right.
My
Right.
man.
Right. He bring that my man everywhere.
Man, what?
Yeah. Favorite sneaker all time?
And I like Jordans, right? All of them. I just got into the Travis Scotts. I have like all 5 of those. Like
I know you
6
like
minutes.
Jordan because y'all sponsored by Jordan at the University of Florida.
Yeah. So
God damn, how many pairs y'all got?
yeah, I got a lot. I like the Yeezys, the 350s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they been any lows ones.
Mm-hmm.
I like those because you can wear them with suits and they can just lay on your pants or whatever. But those are my favorites right now. You know.
Okay. Favorite comedian all time?
Oh, Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Now you know I said Richard Pryor was one of them.
Hey.
I said Richard Pryor was one of them.
Richard Pryor, the GOAT. It won't be no Eddie Murphy. It won't be no
They
Chris
keep
Rock.
talking about Bernie Mac, the best
Hold on.
ever.
That's my guy.
It won't be.
He said Eddie.
Eddie's
Your
my
guy is Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
And it's my guy.
You pick Chris Tucker.
But why? But what I said,
you pick
what I
Chris
said
Tucker
behind
when we
after I
started.
said Chris Tucker, I said Chris Tucker, if he don't go Muslim, he probably go down as probably the best comedian ever.
I
But
just
he
say-
went Muslim and the whole
Bernie
dynamic
Mac.
of his career changed.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie was funny. All those guys are funny, but Richard Pryor is the pioneer.
Yeah,
That's what I told you.
You can't.
I told y'all that.
You don't have those other guys if you don't have
Yeah,
that guy.
The Richard Pryor, the Red Fox.
That's right. You big dummy.
Robin Harris and all.
Grady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know you don't have those guys, but to me, I think when the torch is passed from Richard to Eddie.
Yep. That Eddie's next. Raw. You saw Raw?
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know, but
He's
Eddie,
up there.
Eddie took it to far more heights.
That's right.
Because I think
The movies.
the movies in his era and time, the late 80s and the early 90s, man, you could not duplicate what Eddie Murphy was putting out there.
Coming to America.
Coming to
Oh,
America.
man.
That's my favorite.
That Velvet?
That is my favorite.
Told you that.
That is my favorite movie of all time, right there.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, so the thing that Eddie was pioneering.
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall.
I forget. That's another one you forget about.
Arsenio Hall.
Forget about. Yeah.
Blacks in the night show.
Night show.
Yeah.
You know, so I think Eddie just pioneers so much
Oh yeah.
to where like Richard is his GOAT, and a lot of guys that's Richard Pryor's GOAT, but Eddie Murphy's a lot of guys.
I don't like the GOAT thing because it's eras, right?
Yeah.
Right?
You know, because like Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest of all time to ever box, but his career was short.
He ain't had a longevity.
Yeah, that was about to tell you about Barry Sanders. He didn't play long enough.
Bo Jackson either.
Yeah, I think when you talk about sweetness, the longest he did it. But you just got to think about eras,
Right.
and everybody's gonna be naturally biased
To the
For the era.
to their era, right? And because Magic Johnson was a bad man,
Right.
you know,
Correct.
Larry Bird was bad.
was a bad man.
You know what I'm saying? Larry Bird played with the brothers anytime.
Kareem.
Kareem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what I'm named after. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you have different eras and different times, and some people sustain different decades, right? So rap music, different decades. So
Favorite rapper all time.
Favorite rap of all time. I'm gonna go with Jay-Z. I'm gonna go with Jay.
Like
Hove. I
He don't
told
like
you,
that.
man. I told you.
And then right next to him now, Lil Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lil Wayne. I'm 504 to the heart.
Oh, I agree.
But
He popped out of Essence last night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Popped out.
With probably 2 dreads.
So you got those two for sure. And when you talking about like real nice, like Nas,
Mm-hmm.
Biggie, right?
Nas too deep for a lot of people.
That Illmatic.
That Illmatic.
Yeah.
So
But none of y'all put my boy Tupac Shakur in this conversation.
I like Tupac.
I respect Tupac greatness. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I like
can respect
Tupac.
that.
I like Tupac. Tupac started out with Digital Undergrounds and dancer, right?
Yeah.
He went to Juilliard.
Juilliard over there in Baltimore.
Yeah, he's different.
He from the East Coast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He
From New York. He from New York.
He just migrated over. That's right. He's different in those terms of it, man. So you got. It's just about what you like. Right?
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm you go cut on my phone right now. I'm listening to Kevin Gates.
I'm on that Kenneth brother all day.
Yeah.
Kenneth brother all day.
Yeah. So you just gotta feel what you like. But I think Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Tupac, a guy that they be sleeping on is Ice Cube. Cube was nice.
Man, they booed Cube at Essence.
This year?
Yeah, they booed him.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, real talk. He came out there with all that West Coast stuff, and people wasn't feeling
No,
it.
yeah, you gotta know your crowd, baby.
Yeah, you wasn't feeling it. You wasn't feeling
play
it.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just thinking about really Outkast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big Boy Andre.
Big Boy came out.
Women
Big
now.
Boy came out of Essence too. Yeah.
Favorite group like Goody Mob, Phil Mob. So
I'm
those
so
dudes.
sick of being lonely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
Mhm.
so you
So
got-
that song classic to this day.
The
Yeah.
Dungeon fan.
Don't
Yeah.
finish your statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got different. I like it. I just like music.
Yeah. If you wasn't coaching football, what would Jabbar Juluke be doing with his life?
And I don't know, bro. I ain't never had a job.
He said it multiple times.
Real talk.
I don't know, man. I had a ball in my hand since I was 2 years old. So ball is all I know. I don't know if there's anything else that I can do.
Right.
But once I retire, I have to go into a mentorship, consulting role.
Mhm.
If I'm not actually doing football, right? Athletic director maybe or something of that nature, or just trying to mentor young people to be able to be the best they can be, man. But man, I don't type well. Oh, listen, watch this. This is crazy. Most people don't even think about this. Growing up in a project, I've never cut grass.
Really?
Right, yeah.
The project cut the grass.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't never cut grass.
My grandpa would let me slide with that one.
Hey, God,
I grew up in the country, so that's what we did. We cut grass.
Grandpa come get you.
With that straw hat on.
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
I don't do manual labor.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I don't know, man. If it wasn't, I don't know. I have to have found something. Man, my aunt, man,
I feel like you still would have been in education in some sort of like disciplinarian or
yeah.
something of that nature.
Community
I
activist.
actually did teaching because I had to coach ball.
Right.
If they'd have let me coach ball and have to teach, I wouldn't have did that.
Right.
I don't want to do no lesson plans, man.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Let me ask you this before we let you go, Jock. What former player has made the biggest impact on your life?
It's a lot of guys too, right? Jeremy McGee, right?
Jeremy McGee was nice.
Corey Williams,
Okay.
Right. Those are my first 2 recruits. I know they say recruiting is not good in high school, but I recruited, so they want to take the wins back, they can.
Right.
And those 2 are the first guys that I ever recruited as a head football coach. So my career probably wouldn't have taken off without those 2 guys, right? Munchie Lego, Tonka George, Speedy Noel. My favorite player, he's a little man, Rasheed Davis.
Man, Rasheed was a dog.
Yeah, Gerald Willis. You know, Standish Dobar, Noel Ellis.
Jawan, a dog.
Jawan, his mom and I, we grew up together in the project.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's why he had that kind of mentality.
He played at Willie Hall. You know
Yeah.
we were just different over there, right?
Yeah.
So everybody say they're from the 7. I'm from the St. Bernard Project. I ain't from the 7. I'm from the project. You know? And but I can, man, I think every kid that I've encountered has made an impact in my life. Whether when I go being an assistant coach at Douglas High School, right? And Rodney Coleman was the first guy that we got a scholarship to Nickel State.
Right.
You know, I remember, I could see it right now. You know, I was 21 years old coaching over there. I used to spat my shoes up and still play ball with them. You know what I'm saying? So, I was at Brother Martin. I got kids there that made impacts on me, man. One that stick out over at Brother Martin, kid named Adam Krause.
With the Michigan.
Yeah.
Big Adam.
Yeah.
He was on the state championship team for basketball with DJ now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So his mom, right, and dad, he was a freshman, and you know, I was like, the mom said, "Coach, I need you." I said, "What?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I'm varsity coach, and she's
Right.
a freshman team, but he's a big boy." She said, "He's soft." I said, "What?" I said, "All right, you say less." He started playing basketball in the project.
What?
For the Stallions.
That's why he played like that.
Yeah, he played. I brought him in the project.
Cause he had a mentality about himself.
Yeah, he played. He was the only white kid on the team.
Damn.
Well, that's what they wanted. Yep. Adam Krause played at Michigan. I got to get in touch with him. Yep.
Yeah.
So I got so many, man. And St. Aug, Michael Franklin,
Man,
Tyrone Reed.
Man, let me tell you,
Michael Frank.
that team there was the worst team I've ever played for. Because that was my freshman year.
Yeah.
Michael Franklin, Sylvester McGrew,
Yeah.
Akeem,
Slide with the Florida.
Akeem Jolly.
Yeah.
That was my freshman year at Higgins.
Yeah.
And we get y'all in the playoffs, first round. I'm like, man, yeah. And that's all we keep. Because our
was on the
D-line
team, right?
coach, yeah.
Yeah, the cliffhanger.
And then he just, all he kept doing was talk. He's like, man, we gonna tear them purple punks up. All right, yeah. And I watched Sylvester McGrew
Yeah, slide up.
take our all-world lineman.
Yeah.
Whoop, boom. Say, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be.
So you got
ugly.
them teams over there. I get to walk, especially all those boys over there. You know, in Carr, my college guys, man. You know, I coach Leonard Fournette.
Right.
I said you coach
right.
it. Him and Darius.
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah, Darryl Williams.
Daryl,
Yeah, the room.
John Everett. Boy, you had a room over there.
Yeah, the room.
Boy, you had a room.
And
Everybody said,
Boston Scott was a walk-on.
Yeah. I remember that story you telling me about. Yeah. Still in the league.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I've been fortunate to coach some really good players. I just try not to mess them up, man. So, you know, and the most gratifying is graduating, of course, but to be able to see my former players and they have their sons. It's my wife, coach. You know, this is what I'm doing. Those are the most gratifying moments for me. Not the accolades for football. Cornelius Lucas playing. He's
Big nasty. Big sexy.
Big sexy.
Big sexy.
Yeah, he going into his 10th year in the NFL and didn't want to play football. But he's 6'8", 340 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Good dude too.
Yeah, you know, so you got different. I can't never see a favorite, most impactful. I just know that those guys, Corey and Jeremy, they helped me with my career, right? I had to bench Corey when he was a freshman, and they thought I wasn't gonna let him play, and we lost the playoff game too, and because the T. Howard was like, and BJ was like, "Hey, you gonna let him play?" I was like, "No, he's not playing," because he was fussing with somebody when he about something. And I was like, if we don't control it now when he gets to be a senior,
right,
we ain't gonna be able to tell him nothing.
right.
You know, so Corey was the first national recruit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jerry went to UCLA.
Yeah, yep. And then then he transferred to Ole
Ole
Miss.
Miss,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
those guys were
The cornerstone.
they're the pioneers. You know what I'm saying? They're the founders of it. You know, so but you can go through it the whole time, man. Neil Randall was really good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh, man. Keenan Canty was good,
Mhm.
right? We had a boy transfer from Higgins, Ricky Joseph.
Ricky
Right
Joseph.
Yeah, Rico, call him
Mhm.
Ricardo. He
Back
texted.
games.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep. So man, I got the list can go on. Gerald Baptiste, Jamal Simmons with the Nickel State,
Mhm.
right? Evan Alexander, man, Brock and Bryce, all them boys played for me, man. So I can go on and on, man. I'm fortunate, right, to have those guys have just to be in their lives, right? And I just try not to mess it up, you know what I'm saying? So and I go on record, right? This is live, right? Bryce Brown is a better football coach than Jabbar Juluke. Y'all better give him his flowers while he's alive. I'm telling y'all.
I agree.
We definitely do. We definitely do. I know. Before we get ready to close down, Jab, I just want to say I appreciate you, man. Over a decade of knowing you, the conversations that we have, the advice that you have given me, things that you have done to help me in my career, in my retrospect, man, it doesn't go unnoticed, man. So I want you to know, man, like I really, really appreciate, everything that you've done to help me in my life and my career over the last decade. Kyron Lacey, man, we talk about you often. When he
Don't play.
yeah, don't play. When he was when he was going through his tough times at UL them first 2 years, man, before y'all left to go to Florida, and he would always say that you were the one on that staff that would always reset him
Yeah.
and get him back on track, man. And he always said that he don't know if he would have got through them the first 2 years at UL if you wasn't on that staff. You know what I mean? And so even at LSU now, he goes back to different things that you shared with him coming in as a freshman that he's using right now at LSU, man. And so I just want you to know, man, it's when you say you've impacted a lot of players and they've made a big impact on you, I know exactly what you mean. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you taking the time to come on this podcast. Man, we got to get you back on the near future. And I know you and Coach Napier and the rest of them boys over there at the University of Florida, man, y'all gonna get that thing rolling, man.
Oh, most definitely we will.
Yeah, he's gonna be a big turnaround from last season. I know a lot of expectations, came in, with Florida, with Napier got hired, and y'all had the big splash win
Against Utah.
That's right.
and so it put a lot of people like the lights got big, but obviously you got to work through some things. You got a new staff in there, but
It's a process.
it's a process. It's a process.
Same happened at UL.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened at UL, and it's a process, and eventually
They had the first round quarterback though.
Oh yeah, fourth
fourth
overall.
overall.
Fourth overall.
Fourth overall.
And I remember you saying when you first got there, you was like, "Gee, this boy bad.
Freak.
He remind me of Cam Newton."
Yeah.
I'm like this, Jab, Cam Newton. He was like, "Gee, I'm telling you, he remind me of Cam Newton."
He did play more ball.
Yeah. He got all the traits.
He got all the measures.
He got all the traits.
Man, look, I'm telling you, you got an eye. Cause I remember when Osiris went up there to you and I just texted you.
Yeah.
I said, John, how you doing? Man, he gonna be a first round pick. I said, man.
He told me that.
I was like, cause this is the same UL line that had Robert Kent, and like Kent was getting
Yeah.
every flower in a hunt. And he was getting everything. So I was like, man, what? And like this is going into camp. He's like, yeah, he might start. I was like, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm not doubting Sabo. I'm like, man,
Right. Yeah.
And then
Different though.
and then I asked, I said, man, Sabo. He's like, man, coach, you wasn't lying. You wasn't lying. If I would have took that Georgia scholarship, I don't know where I'd be. But
Want to be a D lineman?
yeah, he wanted to.
And everybody criticized him for going to UL over Georgia.
He wanted, like he realistically wanted, but like I think he just go back to what Josh said, just having that relationship with him. I just told him like, look, man, if you go to Georgia, you would be Chad Lavallee. Look him up. Like you'll have a hell of a career and all that stuff, but it doesn't translate to the next level for what they asking for. But you go to UL, the sky's the limit. And I remember talking to you and Cortez, like, man, what we doing? Like, I'm gonna let him tell you. I knew what it was, but let him tell y'all. But it's like,
Yeah, we in that trailer, boy. Trailer park. Hey, look. Sabo couldn't even stand up in the trailer.
yeah, he
Ducking his head, man. But those are the stories, man, that people don't understand. Again, I think universities have a lot to offer, okay? But you better have someone that can relate to the kids when it gets tough. Because bad days coming now. You know, it ain't gonna always be smooth sailing. It's gonna get some lows in the valley, man. But give you a quick story about Kyron. He was mad. He was acting like a little broad. So you know, I'll bring him in and talk to him. You know what? Screw it. I ain't talking to you no more. So I'll walk past him and don't say nothing. And then I did it for like a week. Boy, that boy cried. He like, man, you need to cuss me out or something. I feel worse when you don't talk to me. You know, and those are the type of things that you want from kids, right? That they can get it. Everybody wants structure and discipline. They want to be loved, right? And again, the best love is tough love. Got to be tough on these kids because society is tough. And they're going to eventually go back to it and understand those tough moments, man. So.
And he was another one, man. University of Miami trying to flip him. Everybody like this. He going to Miami. And when it all came down to the come down, man, he was like, you know, Coach Juluke, man, I know he going to take care of me when I go to UL. He knew that. Just the relationship he had built with him over that year and a half. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, Miami came in that month before signing day, but they were trying to build a relationship in a month. Yeah. And you know, and most kids, what most kids would have done? They would have went to Miami.
They when schools come in late, this is what I learned with the recruiting process. When they come in late, because it's most likely the big schools that come in late. Yeah. And they're going to try to use the law of the shield that they have. Like, yeah, that's going to sweep them. They're going to get them to our side right here. The U versus UL. Well, come on now.
And everybody said he was crazy for passing to Miami to go to UL. And he was freshman all conference.
That's right.
And now he didn't put himself in position to go to LSU. Now they're talking about he's a draft pick. You know what I mean? So I mean, everything happened for a reason. It's a relationship business, man. I'm always standing on it.
Everything's there.
That part there is vital.
Yeah.
I think we got to the part where, you know, brands have their place, but that relationship part,
no doubt,
is vital.
Yeah.
Because things are always changing.
That's right. Kyron, I'm not giving away my secrets, but I used to FaceTime Kyron or make him FaceTime me when he had to go to his first period class. Right? Because he was late for class the first period every day. And that wasn't even my area.
I know.
Yeah, I don't recruit down in
the Tri-Parish.
Yeah, that ain't my area when I was at UL. I stopped at St. James and went east, right? And because of G, knowing that Kyron he needed a male figure to keep pushing him, right? So hey, listen, when you get to class, you FaceTime me. I want to talk to your teacher. Just know that you're there on time. He's like, you serious, Coach? I said, don't FaceTime me. And I'm going to kick his ass.
Real talk.
So he FaceTime, and, you know, we got him to where he need to be at.
He qualified.
You know, so you got to be, again, teach him how to fish, and they'll eat for life, man. So
no doubt. Man, this is this might have been one of my favorite podcasts, bro. And we hardly talked about football.
Yeah, hardly.
Hardly talked about football. We didn't even get into, you know, the dynamic of Florida and which, you know what I'm saying? We didn't even need to do all that. But yeah, but I got a real appreciation for the substance of this podcast, man. So like I say, Jab, we definitely got to get you back on here in the near future.
We talk football next time.
Yeah.
I do know how to coach a little bit. I know a little bit of football. This is my 29th year, man.
Damn.
Yeah, 29th year.
You don't look it, though.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You don't look it, though.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I ain't got a few, so you got your son. I ain't gonna be able to make it, G. I watch him play.
Right. Right. He still got the picture, man, in his room. Yeah, he still got that picture.
Yeah, man. Yep. That's what's up. How old is he now?
13.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's 13, bro. Yep.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Appreciate you, y'all already know what it is, man. Listen, it's FanView Podcast. Listen, don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe if you're on IG. It's FanView Podcast. If you're on Twitter, it's FanView NOLA. If you're on TikTok, FanView Podcast. And don't also forget to follow G Sports. Man, listen, I can't help you if you need the rock, baby. I can't help you. You know, you gotta do your part. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend, get locked in.
Can't stop, won't stop, man.
Can't stop, we won't stop. Y'all already know what it is. FanView Podcast.
G Sports, man, signing out.
That boy Fred.
Coach Hurricane Head. Blue Fire again. I had to do it because I had to do it for you, man. I had to do it.
Y'all already know this, man. We out, man.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app, weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.